The Begode Blitz, their newest race wheel, has finally been announced. There's a lot to talk about here. This thing is really exciting, but there's also some things on this wheel that make me go, what were they thinking? All right, so the Begode Blitz has finally been unveiled. Let's talk about the specs, and then we're gonna be talking about what my thoughts are on this wheel. Begode managed to shave off a ton of weight from the Master. This is the Master successor after all. So this has a 20-inch tire, a 3,500 watt motor that is a C32, and just like the Master, the Blitz has 2,400 watt hours of battery. It is 134.4 volts, and the batteries are 50 S's. The Blitz has an air-type suspension, and I know that that may be a bit of a disappointment to some of you, but it's actually a pretty good thing for racers, and that's exactly what this wheel is designed for, is for track racing. The great thing about an air suspension is that it is inherently progressive, so you don't need to get a progressive spring or change anything out really. The truly incredible feat though is the weight on the Blitz. It's 78 pounds. That's unbelievable. So by doing this, they managed to keep the stats the same, but they shaved tons of weight from the Master. Another incredible thing about the Blitz is the lighting. They finally redesigned the lighting on the Blitz. The tail lighting on the ET Max was just plain bad. The reason for that is because there was a semi-translucent LED strip that was really hard to see in broad daylight. So they addressed the tail lighting issue that was on the ET Max by doing a full RGB strip all the way around. That's really nice, and it's really bright. I can tell just from the photos that it's really bright. And so I'm really happy about that. They finally upgraded the headlight in a major way also. With the 4-in-line headlight setup that you see on the ET Max, the T4, the EX30, etc., it's just not that bright, which leads me to my next point. This one also has a 7,000 lumen headlight. This is the same amount of lumens that the aforementioned wheels also have. So it does give me some concern that this headlight may not be that bright. But with the design that we have right here, this is going to be something that you can put an aftermarket headlight on. This is moddable. I really think that's cool. I'm really excited about that. The next huge thing about the Blitz is that it has a black box and GPS recording. Now, with a black box, as you know, with an airline, that's something that can be used as a diagnostic tool. It's something that's well protected in the event that the airline crashes. Well, this is the same thing. They took a page from Librachem's playbook where they have data logging on their wheels. Then they decided, let's just one-up the competition. Let's put in a GPS tracker. This is basically like LoJack, and you're gonna have to get a SIM card plan, which is not gonna be too expensive. Like, it's a small monthly fee. But if your wheel gets stolen, or if you just happen to lose it and don't have a very good memory, then you can look it up exactly where it's at so you can locate your wheel. Another major improvement with this wheel is the screen. On this new screen, you've got your speed, your ride mode, your pedal hardness setting, odometer, you have your temperature, which can also double as your battery percentage, and also, get this, the voltage on the wheel. The small problem that I see with this new display is that, at least on the Blitz, it's mounted on the front handle, and I find that a durability concern. If you find yourself getting into a wreck, I can definitely see the screen being the very first thing to go. Speaking of complaints, let's air some grievances. Number one, this is a smaller one. They're not including any pads on this wheel. Every single performance EUC has to have pads. The fact that they didn't include it is just weird. Let's be real here. The pads that Begode has made in the past have just not been very good. So maybe they just decided to throw in the towel and say, you guys can just pick out whatever pads you want. Now here's my biggest complaint. The C32 motor on the Blitz is weaker in terms of torque compared to the Master. Now remember, the Blitz is a racing wheel, and with racing, you need tons of torque to accelerate. You need to just blast past people. And so I think this was not a very good move on Begode's behalf. The narrower magnets on the Blitz are going to be able to make the wheel go faster. It's going to have a higher sustained top speed, but in terms of torque, it's going to be inferior to the Master V4. I would suspect that Begode was just trying to make their stat sheet look better by having an increased top speed, and that's exactly what a C32 motor does. It's going to be increasing the top speed at the expense of torque. That's not good when it comes to racing though, and honestly even for trail riding. This may be counteracted by the weight on the Blitz being so low that they don't need as high of a torque motor with as thick of magnets, but personally, if I was on the racetrack, I would want a C40 motor on there. Yes, I realize that the top speed may not be as high, but when it comes to racing, you want something that you're able to just stomp on it, take the risk, ride the beeps, and just blast past your opponent. With a lighter weight wheel, you're gonna have less rotating mass, and so it's not gonna be as stable as you reach those higher speeds. So you need something that is gonna be a bit heavier down there to keep the center of gravity down, but also to keep the gyroscopic stability up. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am saying it's going to be tough to reach those higher end speeds with a wheel that is that lightweight. We'll see though. To be clear, I'm not dismissing the wheel entirely at all. In fact, I think it's a really, really cool wheel, and oh, it's so beautiful. But I think that for racers, they're going to be trying to swap in a C38 or C40 motor just to get that extra oomph that they need to win the races. What do you guys think? Am I totally off base here? I really want to hear, especially from the people that are into EUC racing, to tell me if they think that I'm right or wrong about this. The Blitz is available exclusively in the United States from eWheels.com. eWheels has an outstanding reputation and ridiculously good warranty support, so I definitely recommend them to you guys. Make sure you check out eWheels in the video description where you can learn more about the Blitz, and of course there's loads of affiliate links and discount codes which gets you the best value possible on your next EUC. This trail suddenly got really technical. I feel like I should have been wearing my helmet. Anyway, I do appreciate every last one of you as subscribers, so if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. It boosts my ego and helps the channel tremendously. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.